I'm Rob. I've been tattooing for going on 3 years now, and I tattoo at Studio 21. When I grew up in Long Branch, there was a tattoo shop called Gene's Body Art World. It was owned by a guy named Gene Bernando, who was a biker, and my father's best friend was his apprentice. So every day, like after school, I'd be at the shop hanging out with like all these big ass bikers, you know, hearing all the coils run and shit like that, and smelling the green soap hit the skin. I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is a cool fucking job. I couldn't draw for shit starting out. I mean, I would watch like Pokemon and like Dragon Ball Z, like typical fucking kids shows back in the day. That's actually what really prompted me to like start kind of drawing. But, you know, typical kids, like 4 or 5 years old, just drawing fucking chicken scratch. So my apprenticeship I had like 2 apprenticeships. The first one was under a dude named Frank Wilson. He was like a super old school Chicago dude, like a tattooer from out there, like straight tattooer. Put me through the ringer for sure. But I learned a lot of the basics as far as like tattooing in American traditional style and learning to draw in that style, in that aspect. And my second apprenticeship was under Yosh, who was in Staten Island. And he kind of taught me the real art foundations, like composition, color theory. He's a super awesome black and gray artist, so that's like actually what I really wanted to do. But yeah, he's super humble guy. Like if I had any questions, like just he gave me the answers. He showed me. He was hands-on, so it was really, really cool. I had a lot of supporters, but then I also had a lot of people who were close to me who were like, I don't think you can do it. I don't think this is for you, this, that, and the other. And you know, it's fine. The doubt is always a fuel to the fire anyway. That's actually like the thing the most that I had to learn was patience. And because like I lived my life like just super fucking gung-ho, just ding, 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 ding. And like when I'm tattooing, it's like, all right, dude, slow the fuck down, chill out. Like, you don't want to fuck this up. You don't want to fuck anything up. Just focus on doing a good, solid tattoo. Right. And that's like one of the many things that tattooing has taught me so far is just like relax, chill out, and focus, and breathe. When I first started out, you know, I was like so hyper fixated on doing these big panel pieces or like big cohesive sleeves and stuff like that. You know, when you're a novice and working your way up that ladder, you know, obviously it takes time and there's a lot of things you need to work on. Get to fucking work. And that's where like that patience lesson comes in. It's like, all right, you fucking impatient motherfucker, like settle the fuck down, just keep drawing, keep producing art, and you'll get there at some point, eventually. If not now, it's not forever. You'll get there at one point. And it also definitely helps working in a shop where, you know, there's people who actually care and like actually push you to get better, and you know they'll show you a thing or two, and it doesn't always have to be like tattooing wise. It could be art or anything in that matter. So it definitely helps having like a good collective of solid people to work around with, because they'll always, if they really like you, they'll always like throw you like a little bone here and there to be like, hey, you know, I saw you do this, try it this way, or do it this way, and that might work better. Honestly, there was a point in my life where I didn't think I would be in this position now. No. There was a lot of different priorities for me, like, you know, going out, getting fucked up, and, you know, fucking around and just not caring about a thing. And then that actually kind of changed when I got sober. I was like, okay, let me get my shit together. Let me put a little money aside. Let's get on my feet. It wasn't up until like 2023 that I actually took a gamble on myself. I was iron working at the time. I was welding, working in this hot ass heat. And I was like, fuck, dude, this shit's for the birds, man. Like, this can't be my life forever. So I finally said, fuck it, I'm going to take a gamble on myself and just shift everything into tattooing. So, you know, I got my machines that my mentor gave me in Staten Island, and, you know, I just started going around shop to shop, seeing who would take me on, and Eventually, I ended up here. There was this older woman. She was like 89. And she was getting a tattoo of her late husband's signature. Never had a tattoo in her life. You know, the more I was sitting down and talking to her, and she was telling me how her and her husband met, and they were married for over 50-something years, and he unfortunately passed away some years ago. I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it, but she was just like a pure soul, and she sat, didn't flinch, nothing. And when I got done with the tattoo and I was cleaning it up, she looked at it and she was just in tears, and we took a picture together right here. And that was a moment that really stuck with me. And she hugged me at the end, and she was just like, I know it's not a very, very big tattoo. She goes, but you don't know how much this means to me. And I don't know why, but that one hit home. Yeah, and sometimes it's not always just a tattoo. It's a memory. You're giving them a piece of your energy, and you're creating a memory for them that'll last a lifetime.
Really sat like a rock.
She really did, dude. She's 89 years old, and that is the baddest woman ever. I was just like, you're a fucking rock star.
That long, dude.
Yeah.
She can handle anything at that point.
Yeah, for real. If you're attempting to do something that you don't normally do, you should be the person, the voice of reason in that situation, to be like, hey, look, this is something that's really out of the scope of my realm. Let me put you to somebody who I know who can definitely get this out of the park for you. I am not going to be the reason that somebody does not love their tattoo. The legacy that I think I would like to leave behind is that no matter how hard the road is, as far as being a tattooer and juggling family and everything else in between, you still do this for the love of the craft and the love of the art. At the end of the day, the people who really matter will always be there, no matter what. Regardless of where your skill level is at, and regardless of your aspirations, if you have a certain goal to get to and attain, by all means, always put in the work, no matter how hard it is, because I'm the living example of that. I've had people tell me no. I've had people tell me that I could never make it as a tattoo artist. I've had people tell me that I could never do a certain art style or certain projects. And ultimately, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. And no matter how much people can doubt you, as long as you put your nose to the grindstone, you can do anything you set your mind to. Not everybody's perfect, man. People are always going to make mistakes. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's cool. I grew up in situations where, like, if you wanted to go out and do something right, you got to do it yourself. At the end of the day, dude, we're all here racing the same rat race. So it's like, why are you you're running the same race as I am. Why are you going to sit here and try to trip me up?